we've got technical specification documents. Now, the one thing that I can guarantee you about 2023 is this document is going nowhere. This is the one document that a lot of companies will ask you almost before they ask you for AutoCAD or for Revit, they'll ask you, can you send me your technical specification document? And this is really the document that you need. Specifiers usually take key information from this document and they add it to their specifications. That is why it's such a key document that it has to be there and it needs to be as precise as possible. We're going to take one of the largest industry players in the bathroom industry, Hans Grohe, and we're going to actually unpack how they've set out their technical specification documents. And guys, we will be sending a cheat sheet to everyone in the call today that you are able to, after the session, go and have a double check about what is currently on your technical specification documents. It's the end of the year, it's the beginning, it's at the end of the day, perfect time for you to also have a look at it. A technical specification document is not a pretty brochure. So the picture you see on the right, that is not a technical brochure. That's the one on the left. The role of the specification document is to provide the construction team with product information, which cannot easily be shown in any other way. A good document gives clear indications of level of quality, the materials, the workmanship, and creates realistic expectations to the professional team. This does not include costs, it doesn't include quantities. That will come in other types of documents that you would provide the professional teams once you are specified, which feeds into the quantity documents or the schedule documents. Developing a standard specification document provides a means for saving the specifier time and enabling easy inclusion and ensuring that a construction product is correctly described as the architect or specifier has originally intended. Why do you need these documents? Number one, we want to make our clients' lives as easy as possible. So time saving, it's going to save them a lot of time to give them a document where they can copy and paste specific information from. It's going to reduce your risk of your specification being changed, because the more if the information that you have in this document that pulls into the specification, the more you're going to be guaranteed that this specification is going to stick. It also allows you to demonstrate how your products meet standards of sustainability, health and well-being benchmarks. So it's also a brag document. It just doesn't have direct marketing in it. You have to do that through features and your technical writing. It's important for the manufacturer to review their specification document and have both descriptive and prescriptive product specifications, as well as generic performance specification if you are interested in government projects. It also helps to have these documents in Word or in Excel instead of just a PDF version, so that you can literally give the specifier the document and they can copy and paste from there. In time, these documents will be replaced by BIM content, but currently in South Africa, still very much needed. So what do you have to have in this document? And we've got a whole list here. So it's very important, of course, to have your name. I know it sounds obvious, but if we review a lot of these documents, it doesn't always have this information. So have your name and your contact details. If you don't want to commit to your contact details, make sure that there's a website address. It has to have a clear product name, and the product code, again, needs to have this information that you know exactly what the specifier needs, and that specifier will need that product code and name to add into their drawings. It should have materials, what ingredients it has, what's the type of grade and alloys, especially with metal products or products in South Africa where you are governed by specific building industry rules and norms and standards. You could have your size, your weight, or your density. So for example, if you've got pumps that you are marketing, definitely need weight so that the contractors can plan how many can they transport in time. Color and finish is very important as well. If you have a color system, that is specific color system that you want to work with, it's key to also make note of that. If you want to highlight, and it's very important, and it inputs actually, it applies to the specification, the texture or the surface. You need to then add that as well. Product accessories, must orders. It doesn't help you just have the product and it doesn't work without X, Y, and Z product. It's important to make sure that in one document, all information is consolidated. This is also your time to add in technical performance. So if there's any type of green rating certification that you have, ISO standards, CN certification, add in the marks in the technical documentation. Any environmental or health performance data. So for example, if you work with water, it's very important to make sure that you've got flow rates in there. Test evidence or certificates or accreditations can only help your cause, and add that in. Guarantees, your scope, the limits, the provisios, that's very important to add into the technical document as well. And then a nice to have would be also access to a supplier network if you do not sell directly and you believe this is important to secure your specification. So let's look at the technical specification document that Hans Grohe has for their Metropole tab. So the Metropole name is clearly there. You've got the logo clearly there, so you know exactly what company you're dealing with. It gives a description: single lever basin mixer, 110 with lever handle without waste. So that would normally be the description that the specifier would copy and put into their drawing, their working file immediately. It tells you what the surface is, chrome, and it's got the product code as well. Then it's got all the other descriptive features as well. So you can see stuff again about the water projection, the spray type, what's the temperature adjustment, etc., etc. So they've got all of these features right at the top of the specification, because that is important for a specifier to make a choice to say, am I going to use this tap or am I going to use someone else's tap? They also did add product technology or a bit of bragging rights to their document. This isn't as a straight up guideline that your document should have it. The specifier will not do anything with it, but it's there, but they wanted to use it as another advantage to drive that benefit and features forward. Then we look at the middle of the document. You see they've got a clear, large product image. This is critical once again, so that the architect or specifier can crop the product and take it and put it into their plan. And they also have a scale drawing where you can exactly see all the measurements. Let's also look, guys, at the amount of measurements they have. The more, the merrier to have, and so that the person can see, is the water going to flow in the right direction? Is there enough overhang over the basin? So the more intricate your product is, the more measurements you should have in this file. If we go to the bottom of the document, you'll see they've also added a flow chart that clearly stipulates the technical data of what the water usage is. That will also tick the box for environmental performance. They have a date generator for the day that you actually generated the spec. I know not everyone has programs that on the day of the specification being generated, you automatically timestamp it. An easy way to actually get around it is just put in the date when the brochure was last updated, to say last updated January 2023. So when someone does send you this technical document 5 years later, they say, but your document said that. You know exactly when that document was generated, and you can also make sure that if you do have any provisios to say specs, products are subject to change, etc., you can relate back to this date. So this is critical to have that date on the information. And then they've also added their page number, so that if there are more than one pages, that they're not just 2 or 1 or 1.5 of the pages get used. You know exactly how many pages are in the spec, so that the full spec is provided to the person having to do that specification. Some information that we would suggest that they can add onto a specification like this would be contact information. Look, they've got their Hans Grohe website details there of the international site where someone can drill down to get to the South African entity. But again, you are welcome to either add a website or contact details directly or an email address. There's also opportunity to add guarantees in here if you'd like to add your guarantees in there. Accreditation by international and local bodies. And then the one big part that you can do is you can actually, instead of just adding in single lever basin mixer, blah, which is a descriptive specification, you can add in your performance specification. Here you can write into, say, a mixer of 110 high, giving this flow rate with this type of spout protrusion, and that way building a spec that no one else in the market can try and counter spec on your behalf. It's very important to review your specification documentation, and there is no time like the present. It is now currently the end of the year, moving into a quiet period in January, where it's the perfect time to review specifications. So we would encourage everyone here to review the specifications. You would start to, number one, review product features and benefits. So make sure whatever are the features you want to highlight and indirectly showcase the benefits, are you currently doing so in the technical document? You want to make sure that you have all the relevant information that you currently have. That could be accreditations, test certificates, guarantees, installation requirements. Bring it all together and see how can you actually put it together, and what is important. Get those highlighters out. What is important to also add into this document to strengthen your position. You must also make sure that your writing style is correct. I mean, writing a specification document is not marketing speak. Specification clauses need to be written to provide instruction with clarity, precision, and brevity. Reviewing your writing style is very important, and it highlights where specification terminology can be improved. Number 4, ensure all your information is covered. A good specification gives clear indication of the levels of quantity and quality expected. So you want to make sure that the materials are listed, workmanship is listed, and all other relevant standards are in the document. And that's why you're getting the cheat sheet. We're going to send this through that you can literally tick off the 12 points and make sure that you've got it in your document. And then the last step, number 5, review again. Guys, I think we all know how it is. We're working with several products at the same time. Those gremlins do creep up, and they always do, like there's always 1 or 2 mistakes that do happen. So maybe ask a colleague or a third party to also have a look at your documents. At Nobility, we also provide a service where we do technical specification audits. This is on documents as well as websites. We can do it annually and on an ad hoc basis. And we just need direction to say what type of specifier are you trying to, and what type of projects are you trying to win with the documentation. And we will then analyze it according to specific 5 or 6 points that we define together. For example, the slide that I'm showcasing to you now, this was a slide that we put together when we reviewed a brochure. So there would be different points on a brochure review document than on a technical spec review document. The same, we also conduct a service for Revit and AutoCAD drawings. So if you are interested in changing over your line drawings to AutoCAD, or changing your AutoCAD drawings to Revit, or vice versa, we've got a design studio that's ready to help you. All we have to do is we set up a Teams call, we understand what your current needs are, and we take it from there as we work ad hoc on these requests. I've got clients that do 2 products a month with us. I've got clients that decide, now is the time, here's 70, let's go, I need it in a week, where we always have a heart attack, but we try and get it done in a quality work in the right time frame. And that's that, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up, Daniel. We are here to support the industry. You've got our contact details. You know where we are. I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone that spent the past hour with us. I hope you learned a few things. We'd love to hear from you. So if there's any questions, please pop us an email. If you'd like to have a follow-up session, we are here now until January. Let us know. But we, together with you, would like to grow the industry from strength to strength. So thank you very much for your time, and have a fabulous Tuesday.